I find this story very fascinating. The way that Brett Kavanaugh was dragged through the media and attacked over these really hard to corroborate allegations that weren't even really that bad to an extent. Like, look, it's bad to assault people. It's bad to do the things he was accused of doing. But what was he accused of? He was accused of groping a woman at a party and giggling and running away. Wrong. Shouldn't have done it. Bad. Then he was accused of exposing himself to another woman. Also wrong. The weirdest thing he was accused of was engaging in these drug-fueled gang rape parties, which is extremely bad. But the woman also walked back these claims. And it may be that Brett Kavanaugh, in her own explanation, was simply at these parties where these things were going on. But many of these allegations were proven to be untrue or recanted or walked back, at least. But now we have Lieutenant Governor Fairfax, who's been, I love this phrase, credibly accused by multiple women, and they're accusing him of some pretty brutal, like the woman said she was crying and gagging as he held her head down. That's a bit different to what Brett Kavanaugh was accused of doing. But nonetheless, he's refusing to leave. Even though, and this is the weirdest, Ralph Northam, who everyone demanded resign and refused, has also said that Fairfax should resign if these allegations prove true. It's like, wait, hold on. Everybody wants you to resign, dude. But let's see what's going on with the latest from the Daily Mail. Virginia Democrat backs off of plan to impeach Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax after 2 women accuse him of rape. So essentially, there's a lawmaker. They were drafting the proposal. That's my understanding, but they're walking it back now. It says, a Virginia lawmaker on Monday backed off his plans to swiftly introduce an impeachment bill seeking the ouster of the state's leading black elected official as Democrats struggled to address revelations of past racist behavior and allegations of sexual assault roiling its highest levels of office. The effort to impeach Democratic Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax was prompted by the emergence of 2 women who accused him of rape in the 2000s. Fairfax has vehemently denied the claims and called for authorities, including the FBI, to investigate. Democratic Del Patrick Hope retweeted early Monday that he got an enormous amount of sincere and thoughtful feedback from colleagues after circulating a draft of his impeachment bill, and that he sees that additional conversations need to take place before anything is filed. Oh, I see. We got so close. The fact that Democrats were calling on Northam, who's a Democrat, to resign, I find it's respectable. Do I think he should resign over these? Look, the guy made bad choices back in college. Does that reflect who he is now? No, I think people learn, evolve, and can figure out how to do things better. And we need to let people be different people. You aren't who you were 30 years ago, right? But then again, it's up to the people of Virginia. But now we're seeing Fairfax, who's been accused twice. And I got to say, the way what did they say about Brett Kavanaugh? It doesn't matter if the allegations are true. This isn't the court of law. It's just about whether or not someone who has these accusations should be in a position of power. All of those things they said. Okay, get rid of them. But what do? Well, bravo to almost half bravo to Patrick Hope, who was planning on drafting impeachment papers and was sending them around, or who did draft them. And then I'm going to walk back a little bit of that praise because now he's saying he's not going to do it. Why? Because he got feedback from other Democrats. That's right. The Democrats don't want to impeach their guy, even after he was credibly accused. God, I actually really hate that phrase. What does it mean? Credibly accused. No, you were accused, period. You don't need to qualifier. There's been little sign of broad appetite for impeachment, with lawmakers set to finish this year's session by the month's end. But the legislature is swirling with questions about lines of succession and the political fallout for Democrats should their governor, lieutenant governor, and attorney general leave office willingly or not. I mean, I kind of feel like just get rid of all of them. This is ridiculous. And then they interviewed Ralph Northam, and he's like, I think he should, what do you say? Here you go. Ralph Northam said if the allegations against his lieutenant governor are true, then Fairfax should resign office. Dude, you admitted on camera to putting on blackface. It's like, okay, but sure, I guess if one's worse than the other, it is, seriously, if what Fairfax did is true. And so Patrick Hope, there's the tweets from him where he said, so here's what he says. I believe Dr. Vanessa Tyson and Meredith Watson, I promise that my work on this issue will be tireless until we have a process and outcome that treats these women with the respect they deserve going forward. Ralph Northam and Attorney General Mark Herring are still trying to regain their political standing after awkwardly acknowledging that they each once wore blackface as young men in the 80s. Calls for Northam's resignation raised the prospect of Fairfax taking over, which prompted his accusers to come forward. All three scandals involve events that happened long before these leaders took office, but they become a full-blown crisis for Democrats. The party counts on the support of black voters and has taken an almost zero-tolerance approach to sexual misconduct in the Me Too era. A house cleaning could be costly. If all three Democrats resign, Republican State House Speaker Kirk Cox would become Virginia's governor. Northam, a pediatric neurologist, said that he considered quitting, but has decided he's not going anywhere because the state needs someone that can heal it. It's not you. Everybody's mad at you. Everybody wants you to resign. The state does need someone who can heal it. But then you have the problem of Fairfax lieutenant governor has been accused by two women. Credibly accused, they say. Northam said on CBS Face the Nation that it's been a difficult week since a racist photo in his 1984 medical school yearbook showing a person wearing blackface next to another person in a KKK hood and robe. Northam initially said he was in the photo, then denied it the next day, while acknowledging he did wear blackface to a dance party that same year. Congratulations. You went on TV and admitted that you did it, and everybody wanted you to resign over it, so why you... Oh, what? This is like the weirdest response to it, all of this, because then you get the Attorney General coming out and also just being like, yeah, by the way, I did it too. Okay, I guess everyone's just... It reminds me of, I'm talking. I've been talking a lot about Law and Order SVU because it's on all day. But there's one episode where a criminal starts talking about all of the things he's done wrong, cheating on his taxes and stealing coins like from machines or something. I don't know. And he's like, I'm just telling you all, I'm airing out my dirty laundry so that you believe me. And I feel like this is what they're doing. They're just admit to a bunch of wrongdoing. Or I'm sorry, Mark Herring is doing this. Or no, Northam did this too. They're admitting to doing these things to make it seem like we're going to trust them more. No, I'm sorry, I'm not going to. Political considerations will be key to what comes next. Virginia is among a handful of states electing lawmakers this year, and Democrats had hoped to flip the Republican-controlled General Assembly. Democratic Delegate Patrick Hope said he wants to introduce articles of impeachment Monday against Fairfax, who is black. I don't know why they had to add that and why that's important. Meredith Watson and Vanessa Tyson have accused him of sexual assault and offered to testify at any impeachment hearing. The Associated Press generally does not name people who say they are victims of sexual assault, but both women have come forward voluntarily. Watson alleges Fairfax raped her while they were students at Duke University in 2000. Her attorney said in a statement, Tyson, a California college professor, accused Fairfax of forcing her to perform oral sex on him at a Boston hotel in 2004. Apparently, that was at the DNC. That's my understanding. The lieutenant governor issued a statement Saturday, again denying he ever sexually assaulted anyone and making clear he does not intend to immediately step down. Instead, he urged authorities to investigate. Let's be real here. Accusations. If he did these things, then he's a terrible person and he should be punished, in the way we have written under law. He should go to jail and serve his time. But innocent until proven guilty. And right now, you just have a couple women who have come out at, unfortunately, an opportune time. And I have to wonder why it always is this way. Maybe it's because the news was looking for the scandal. Maybe because the news around the governorship got really big and then they talked about him becoming governor. So people dug into his past and it was an opportunity for people to come forward. But why didn't they come forward a long time ago? Why wasn't it 2 years ago? Why wasn't it a year ago? Why wasn't it 6 months ago? Why is it just right now in the midst of the scandal? Many people believe the only reason that blackface yearbook photo came out about Northam was because of the comments he made about post-birth abortion. I said it, although it's not a thing, it's infanticide. It's literally talking about taking a baby that's alive and resuscitated and killing it, sure. But after he made these comments, the media was coming after him hard. And then all of a sudden, this yearbook drops. All of a sudden, accusers emerge. And then for some reason, Mark Herring, not wanting to be left out of the party, decides to announce that he too wears blackface, or did. Why ever he did that, sure, maybe they were trying to get on top of potential bad press. But isn't it weird that all of this happens at the same time? Some people have suggested the GOP was completely, opposition research for the GOP was terrible because they couldn't even find a yearbook. But maybe could be from the GOP. I mean, some people have suggested it's Democrats doing it, trying to get rid of Northam, trying to, kill the press around his statements on abortion. But I don't know. You get conspiratorial when that happens. Ultimately, who did it or why, we'll probably never know, but it happened. But the point I'm trying to make is, the fact that all of these things are coming out just right now says to me that I don't think it's a coincidence. Perhaps it's just, dominoes falling over. Like someone found the yearbook and said, hey, check this out. So it made a bunch of press and then people were able to talk about, these other issues. But I think that's it. Okay, so there's apparently a lot more, but I don't want to read. We'll just wrap up on the conclusion of the story. Northam's pledge Sunday to work on healing Virginia's racial divide was his second in as many days. In his first interview since the scandal erupted, he told the Washington Post on Saturday that the uproar has pushed him to confront the state's deep and lingering divisions, as well as his own insensitivity. But he said that reflection has convinced him that by remaining in office, he can work to resolve them. It's obvious from what happened this week that we still have a lot of work to do, Northam said. There are still some very deep wounds in Virginia, and especially in the area of equity. That's a funny word, equity. Comes up a lot. You know what I see in all this, though? I just see the Democrats not wanting to get rid of their own, and some people are refusing to step down. Welcome to politics. Not surprised. Anyway, I got another video coming up in just at 4 p.m. on the main channel, youtube.com/Timcast. Stick around. I will see you then.